This type of humility is what raised them. Because the Prophet ﷺ says, "Man tawadha'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah." Anyone who humbles himself for Allah, Allah will raise them. Anyone who humbles themselves for Allah, Allah will raise them. Otherwise, how is it that these scholars were so humble and did not praise themselves and kept such a low profile, and still we're talking about them over 1,000 years later? How is this the case? Because that's a manifestation of the Prophet ﷺ statement, "Man tawadha'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah." Anyone who lowers himself for Allah, Allah raises him. And this is the sunnah of the deen. Every person is rewarded according to their action, proportionally. The Prophet ﷺ says what? قَالَ مَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا سَتَرَهُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. If you cover the fault of a Muslim, Allah will cover yours in the dunya and the akhirah. You did an action, you'll be treated the same way. وَمَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ وَاللَّهُ فِي عَوْنِ الْعَبْدِ مَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ فِي عَوْنِ أَخِيهِ. And Allah will continue to be in your help if you're helping your brother. You did an action, you're treated the same way. And the opposite is true. If you do a negative action, you'll be treated the same way. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سَأَصْرِفُ عَنْ آيَاتِيَ الَّذِينَ يَتَكَبَّرُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ وَإِنْ يَرَوْا كُلَّ آيَةٍ لَا يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَا. I will turn away from my verses those who are boastful on the earth without right. Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah said, أحرمهم فهم القرآن, meaning I will turn them away, i.e. I will prevent them from understanding the Quran. Because if a heart is arrogant and boastful, then the treatment will be the opposite, and you will not be given what you want. وَمَنْ اسْتَعْجَلَ شَيْئًا قَبْلَ أَوَانِهِ عُوقِبَ بِحِرْمَانِهِ. If you do something without rights and before it's due, then you'll be punished with the exact opposite. And this is a huge lesson. And this shows that we don't need to be loud for people to recognize us and remember us and respect us. Al-Bukhari rahimahullah, when one of his students was asked, how did Al-Bukhari reach his level? His student mentioned three things. One of them was, he spoke very little. Now every gathering, Al-Bukhari, Al-Bukhari, Al-Bukhari. For over 1,000 years, Al-Bukhari, Al-Bukhari, Al-Bukhari. To the extent that people know Al-Bukhari more than the majority of Sahaba. Why? Did he need to talk? Did he need to praise himself? Did he need to be loud? No, he didn't. Did he need to be boastful? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. In fact, speaking of Al-Bukhari, there was an incident where a student came to him and asked him to narrate a hadith to him. Asked him to narrate a hadith. So Al-Bukhari narrated a hadith to him. Al-Bukhari is someone who memorizes hundreds of thousands of hadith. Narrating one hadith is not something new for him. But this student had in front of him Muhammad ibn Ismail al-Bukhari, and he's narrating a hadith to him. So Al-Bukhari saw this student, he was going to explode out of happiness. He was so happy listening to the hadith and eager and coming to him. So Al-Bukhari smiled. When he saw that he was like this, he smiled. And he felt bad for smiling. So he went back to him afterwards, radiallahu anhu, and said, please forgive me for my smiling earlier. Because he saw it as maybe I was smiling as sort of belittling the person, and come on, it's just one hadith, I don't know why you're going so, getting overexcited and so on. So just that small smile at his reaction, he felt bad for, and humbly went up to the person and asked him for forgiveness. Rahimahullah ta'ala.